Alright, I'm a little tired. My feet smell. I would open up a window, but neighbors. Oh, I forgot my setup. Hold up. Right, as I was saying, I would open up a window to kind of like ventilate, but I had the windows open for like the last hour because I had to go pick up my mom and come back home. So it's ventilated, but the neighbors are playing really loud music. I don't know if you can hear it right now. There we go. So I'm not gonna open them right now. I do have candle though. I just turned it on because my feet really smell. It's bad. Anyways, sorry. This is my Ant-Man movie review. I'm tired. Good God. Anyways, I really like this movie. Scott Lang was awesome. Luis, he's amazing. I love that guy. He's like, the way he tells stories is like amazing. I love hearing his stories, even though I have to like listen to them all over again to like make sure I followed along. Like at the end, when like the whole point of the story was just him saying yes, and it's like, oh God. I like how this one was like a heist film, because you know, like the other ones, like during the movie you kind of see him fight the villain, like during like a common superhero movie, you see like the hero and the villain like fight like throughout the movie. But in this one, I don't really think Scott Lang meets Darren Cross until like the very end, and Yellow Jacket doesn't show up until like the last 26 minutes of the movie, and he's not even there for the whole 26 minutes. He's there for probably half of it. So yeah, I do like how this one was like different from the other Marvel movies or other comic book movies, in the sense where it's mostly planning the heist and like pulling it off, and it still has like, it still feels very like superhero-y, but they really save that for like the last half hour. So I thought that was cool. It also got me thinking around not this time, but around the time the movie came out, 2015, I was thinking they should just, not even put these movies in like a genre, just like comic book genre. That should be its title, because I guess sci-fi works for it too, but I feel like more accurately it could be comic book genre. Now, at first I thought superhero genre, but then Deadpool came out and Suicide Squad came out, and those aren't superheroes. And I'm like, comic book would be better, but I guess sci-fi. I guess comic book fits under sci-fi. I also like Cassie Lang. Thought she was pretty adorable when the movie came out, and then like my niece is 5 now. I think she's like a little bit younger than Cassie in this first movie, so like they're kind of, I see some similarities. So tired. Yeah, so there's some similarities, so I think that's nice. That's cool. Awesome. Obviously. And oh, man, it is so sad to know what happens in the future within the relationship with Cassie and Scott. How you can tell he obviously cares and loves her, and for him to just be gone and miss 5 years of his daughter's life, that's, I don't know, that's pretty terrifying. I don't want to miss 5 years of my niece's life. That's tough. I didn't really write much down. I can't really think of much at the moment. The movie was awesome. Anthony was awesome. I like how he keeps naming his aunts frequently. Although I do wish one thing about Ant-Man. Whenever he teams up with the Avengers, I wish that he used his ants more. That would be awesome if he like utilizes his ants within like the battles. Like maybe Endgame would have been a bit too hard to use ants, but like in Civil War, when he teamed up with Captain America, it would have been pretty awesome if he had used ants to stop, I don't know, Black Widow or something. Like I feel like that would have been cool. Or if you could have used ants to help build a time machine with Stark, that would have been awesome. Just, I feel like it would be a lot cooler to see the ants utilized more in crossovers, because that'd be very interesting in the sense of the heroes be like, what the, like, how are you controlling ants? Like, because to start off, they're already kind of like, well, that he can shrink and grow, you know, and then just kind of like their reaction to the ants moving around would be pretty awesome too. And also, I like how they had Hank Pym as like the original Ant-Man, because that's how he is in the comics, and he was an original founding member of the Avengers. And in the comics, he's abusive. He beats his wife. He's a jerk. So it was kind of not nice to see, but it was like interesting to see that he was kind of mean, aggressive. So you can kind of see that aggression went on the big screen, because if to make it seem like he was just kind of like a softie or whatever, it's kind of to say like he never like abused his wife, which is kind of like, did he though? Did he not though? You know, Wasp. I was really excited for Wasp in the end credit scene. When I saw Captain America in the end credit scene, because this movie came out in July 2015, and then Captain America Civil War came out in May 2016. I was like, oh, I have to wait a whole year, you know? And Captain America was awesome. Edgar Wright was originally supposed to direct this movie. He worked on it with, I think, Peyton Reed, but after a while he left. I feel like I've seen a lot of Edgar Wright films, and to see like a Marvel movie done in Edgar Wright style or done by Edgar Wright would have been so cool. Like Baby Driver was awesome. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was awesome. The one movie with the cops, I forgot the name. What was it? Shaun of the Dead was not the name of the movie, but it was also still very good and an Edgar Wright film. So that would have been, it would have been so cool seeing an Edgar Wright film. But apparently there were creative differences, and he left the project, and there were so many problems with like finding a director, and then finally found Peyton Reed, and I think he did a good job. Edgar Wright was still given credit for working on the film, so that was good. I think that was good. I mean, I don't know why specifically that, but you know, whatever. There you go. I remembered one thing about the movie that I really wanted to talk about. Thomas the Tank Engine. Near the ending, when he's fighting with Yellow Jacket in Cassie's room, there's a little Thomas train just kind of going in circles. I grew up on Thomas, so to see Thomas in the Marvel Cinematic Universe film was so cool. It was awesome. I remember sitting there 15 years like, oh my god, is that Thomas? Or was it the other two? He had two little carriages. They also had personalities. Clarabelle? Annie? Let's say Annie and Clarabelle. I don't remember. Hold on, But yeah, I thought it was so cool seeing Thomas the Tank Engine in a Marvel movie, and I was like, oh, he's like my favorite as a kid, and to see him in a superhero movie is awesome, you know. So I thought that was great. Thomas the Tank Engine. What's it called? Carriages? Yeah, and I thought it was hilarious when Yellow Jacket was there. Oh, I was right. Annie and Clarabelle, two anthropomorphic passenger coaches from the Railway series. Thomas the Tank Engine, awesome. I'm awesome. Anyways, yeah, they were there too. They're not that well known, unfortunately. They were pretty cool. I like them. But Thomas was there. And it just kind of like, to see Yellow Jacket like, no! And then Thomas just fall over was hilarious. It was awesome. And then to see him, and like, I thought that was just about it. And then like they throw him by the window, and I was like, alright, that's it. Like, he's not going to have a big role in this movie. And then he actually did have a bigger role in the movie, and he actually became bigger. And I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome. It was alright, so that's pretty much it. So I'm going to start talking about my mom. So this is a good segue. So my mom obviously bought me like a ton of the Thomas trains. And so when we were watching the movie, like Thomas showed up and she looked at me, she was like, hey, that's Thomas. And I was like, I know, isn't it so cool? She's like, you love Thomas. I was like, I know. Yeah, and then she also laughed when they threw Thomas over, and when Thomas fell over, and then Thomas became really big. And then when the battle's over, and like it was like, oh yeah, we saved the day. Or Ant-Man's like, yeah, like Yellow Jacket is gone. And then it cuts to Thomas, and he's like, he crushed the police car, and she was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. So I thought that was cool. She also liked how Ant-Man was able to control ants. How like none of the other Avengers could control insects or animals or whatever. Groot can control plants, but she doesn't really know that yet. What is it? Oh yeah, so she thought that was interesting how he can control the insects. She also liked how Scott and Hank Pym got to be kind of like parents again by the end of the movie, because Hank Pym was just kind of like a jerk, and then Hope, because Janet was the original. Hope was just kind of like, I don't like you, and then by the end she's kind of like, all right, like you're my dad, so whatever, you know. So she thought that was nice, and then how Paxton and Scott's ex-wife were just kind of like cool with him hanging out with them all over again. So she thought that was nice how they both got to be the parents they've always wanted to be. Also, when Darren Cross was selling his cross particle, I don't know what it's called, his cross particle, she was shocked to see that Hydra was still around. She's like, whoa, that's Hydra. 10 rings were there too, but she doesn't really know what the 10 rings are. She just knows that terrorists kidnapped Tony Stark. She doesn't know that they're called the 10 rings, or she doesn't pay attention. She doesn't remember the name. But when he was like, oh yeah, like these people are part of Hydra, like, oh, but they're not what they were anymore. And then she turned to me, she was like, he's lying, isn't he? And I was like, think so. So yeah, so she was shocked to still kind of see them lurking. So yeah, so she thought that was kind of like, whoa. So that was cool. Also with the Yellow Jacket, I liked how he had the AT sounds. Who's calling me? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about the movie. I'm really tired. This video's not my best. I wanted it to be better. Civil War, though. That will be better. Open to suggestions, questions, anything. Stay safe, stay groovy. I messed it up. Whatever.